Hey, Spuddies, Potato Whiskey here, and welcome back to Age of Wonders 4, and we're in the middle of a bit of a conquest here. We gotta take out our very first rival, Mr. Gareth Fisher over here, who has been an annoying little sausage of a man. He declared war on us and caused us a few problems, but we've managed to invade his territory, and we're on the march towards his capital. Now, I'm not entirely sure what the best way to get to his city is. I think there's some lava pools. We may have to head to the north, but in addition to that, it's also time for us to pick up our new tome. And we have a lot of really good options. I'm kind of tempted by the newest, the Tome of Virtue. This one is a brand new tome in the latest DLC, Archon Prophecy, that is a full order affinity tome that has a minor racial transformation that gives you spirit resistance, as well as the ability to ignore casualties when low on health and extra defenses. We've also got this nice buff spell here, the Heroic Stand, which allows you to have a unit not die and also hit for their maximum damage regardless of how hurt they are. You've got the House of Charity, which is a very cool building because it converts some of your gold income into food and production, which is a kind of interesting building. You've got the tier 3 Paladin Shield unit that has a melee strike, a smite, and a heal. So this is a very versatile unit. You know, this is a 30 health heal alongside a 30 damage smite that initiates a defense mode. So this could be an incredibly strong frontline troop for us, this paladin here. So I am really tempted by the Tome of Virtue, purely just because it's new content. Now, if I was making the decision based on what made the most sense for my faction, I would potentially go back here because I just picked up the Tome of the Beacon, right? Where we have some things that's benefit from our units being faithful, which means maybe it would be good for me to pick up the Tome of Faith and get something like Staves of Mending, right? Which would give my support units the faithful buff, as well as the Mending Touch ability, which is a free action that just lets them give a unit a little bit of health. It would also give us access to the Convent, which is a nice city structure that scales based on happiness. Also, we would have Wrath of the Faithful, which if we have 8 faithful units in the army will do base, I think 50 damage. So it's like a 50 damage Smite of the Faithful. Very strong. It's a single target. We've got Lesser Light Spirits, which are basically a low tier spirit, support spirit. And actually, I believe they can also level up and become a more advanced version, like they can evolve. So I'm tempted by the Tome of Faith for all of those reasons. Another interesting choice we could make here would be to go for the Tome of the Fey Mists, because the Staves of Mists are very similar to the faithful ones. We would also get the Fey Touched ability. So my people would have Fey Guile, where if we're obscured or in mist clouds, we would gain random positive effects. And we would also ignore misty penalties and accuracy penalties from Clinging Mist. So, you know, there's a lot of interesting things that we could potentially do here. But I think I'm going to go for the Tome of the Faith. We're kind of backfilling our order. So I would like to be able to summon Lesser Light Spirits and have Staves of Mending. So I'm going to lock in Lesser Light Spirits and begin researching Staves of Mending. My armies, I'm not sure what the best way to Eastwatch is, but I'm going to assume that we're going to have to head north up through all this craggy terrain. Now, Thermopolis, our capital, can annex another tile, and the only real tiles we have are these kind of underground ones at the moment, so I will grab one of those. And now, having seen just how rough this terrain is over here, I think I'm actually going to go back up through this tunnel and look for a better path to the enemy capital. Especially because I've got some invading armies coming in down to the south. We're going to be diverting our forces. I think it just makes sense to do this. And it does not make sense to do it the other way. We would spend many turns just walking through mountainous terrain, which, yeah, I don't think that's the right move. So we managed to build some walls here in Harrington, and we would like to continue to develop the defensive capabilities of this. Like, for example, we're going to want things like ballista towers, archer battlements. Now, we are a faction. Oh, wow. So what is this? You guys are farming Lisbon, so we could have access to the longbow, quite a powerful unit. My faction mostly makes use of physical ranged attacks, with the Shademaker here being our main combat unit for range. We do have some magical damage from chaplains and cultivators, but when it comes to deciding on which kind of battlements our cities are going to have, I think the archer battlements are the right choice. So I'm going to build some archer battlements. I'm going to build the Caltrop stash, and I'm going to build the ballista towers. These 3 buildings together will provide this city with a significant defensive capability. We don't necessarily need the Beacons of Valor, but I will get these. And then you can make the argument of going straight to the catapult towers, which I'm not against doing. I'm not against going that way. Yeah, so we're just going to work on building up the defenses here. And the idea behind this is that if this city is put to siege, we have a lot of advantages in combat to be able to fight off our enemies. Oratorium has built the next tier of Ziggurat, and I'm basically going to do the same thing. I'm going to do something very similar. I'm going to grab Archer Battlements and the Caltrop stash. Now, Mort Ariol wants a Wizard's Bond. I'm going to take that Wizard's Bond because it could potentially put us into a strategically useful position. I'm going to recruit a tier 3 Light Spirit because I'm kind of intrigued by this unit from the Rally of Kings, but aside from that, we won't be recruiting anything else from the rally. Perfect. So we blew up the province construction on this terrain, and now Oratorium will be able to annex a new tile. I will grab that gold vein for it because it currently doesn't have a gold vein, and that will allow us to build the next level of the mint. Because that requires 1 mine to build. We would like to also get our hands on a monolith if we could. I'm trying to see if there's... We could probably put a conduit on this haste berries. Oh no. Oh yeah, we can. Okay, perfect. So once we get the conduit there, we'll be able to get the monolith, and that'll be worth an extra 20 mana income, which will make this city a lot more useful long term. Right, I'm going to move all of my armies down into position to prepare to attack these enemy stacks that are inside my territory. We've got some new Empire development skills. We could make our shock, shield, and polearm units level up faster, or we could gain a bunch of allegiance with all 3 cities. It's kind of an interesting one. I wouldn't mind the extra mana here. I do need to think kind of a little bit carefully about how I want to spend my Imperium. I think extra city stability from Forest Province is nice. That will just mean the average stability of my territory is a little bit higher, which I'm cool with. We've got bonded vassalage with High Ridge, so that they're sharing their magical materials and giving us extra income. Very happy with that. We could look into cooperation, but I don't necessarily know if we need to engage in any of this kind of cooperation at the moment. I want my AI vassals to be targeting Gareth Fisher, so I should have both of them when it comes to cooperation. Yeah, they're both targeting Gareth Fisher, and they will both launch attacks in the near future, and that will be useful for me. It looks like they've realized I have a pretty big army stack in the nearby area and have retreated once they see it, which I think was the right move on their behalf. Except for Chaox. Chaox decided to run right forward with his ruler. So embraced by nature, you've become the apex of nature affinity, master of lives. You've brought nature affinity onto the realm. So all owned units are going to gain the mark of nature. Whenever a friendly unit dies, this unit will gain a grace, and whenever an enemy unit dies, this unit will gain strengthened. Okay, that's really interesting. So basically, whenever a death happens, we become stronger. A friendly death makes us heal, and an enemy death makes us do more damage. That's really good. It's a win more button. We do have access to the tier 4 Entwined Scourge unit and the Horned God in the Rally of Lieges. That's really interesting. So now we have a way to get tier 5 units, and I'm tempted to get one. All cities gain mana income equal to 50% of their food income. That is insane. You've treated your citizens in Harrington well. Now a famed bard contacts you with a charming smile wreathing his face. So we can gain 60 gold per turn in Harrington. We could gain a bunch of draft. We could gain a bunch of morale, a bunch of food, or a bunch of Imperium. I'm going to grab that Imperium. Imperium's a difficult resource to gain. Mort Ariol has declared war on me. We just had a Wizard Bond. Bro, it's crazy. Whole world's at war with me. I'm hoping that this will be an easy auto-resolve. That's a ridiculous amount of mana for us to get. So we lost a single Guardian. That's fine by me in the auto-resolve front. We got the Heart of the Willbreaker. Ooh, Siege Breaker to all units. Well, we're definitely going to add that to the hero here. These items that we're stealing from the enemy. And I'm going to replace the unit that we lost with a Light Spirit. That is so much mana. I'm kind of tempted. Like, these cost 15 mana to upkeep. Let's make sure we cast Staves of Mending. But I'm tempted now to potentially look into recruiting a bunch of, just spamming out units. Like, maybe that's the right move for moving forward. I'm also tempted to upgrade our monument. This would get us another nature incarnate. It would get us extra food, draft, and production. We'd get city stability, more nature affinity, more nature incarnate, the blight resistance. That's kind of an exciting and interesting idea. I do have a few things in here that I would like to get built. Like, this city is lacking in terms of the defensive situation. So like, I want my Magitectural Archive. I definitely want to get my bathhouse to bring up the city stability, because the higher your city stability is, the more production and draft and stuff you get. So I feel like the bathhouse is a good call. Maybe it would also be good for us to get the Masonic Hall. Like, maybe that feels like it's missing. That's an extra 20 production. That would be a 25% boost to the city's construction rate. But I'll get my 2 unique buildings, the Architectural Institutes, to bump up our research and production. That was a surprisingly easy auto-resolve. I think I might go ahead and hit Chivalton next. Slowly whittle away our opponent's ability to fight. Okay, there's Staves of Mending. I'm going to get to work on researching lesser light spirits. You've got your caltrops. You can annex another province over in Obelysium. We are kind of running out of tiles that we could potentially annex here, so we'll grab just that forester. We would like to be able to build a monolith here, so I'm going to switch this farm over to being a conduit. If we could also get a mine in here, that'd be nice. But yeah, but that's crazy amounts. Awesome. A bunch of heroes in our crypt. Okay, I actually forgot to set up some recruitment in Thermopolis. I'm going to recruit a guardian and shademaker in each city that I have, except in Harrington, where I think I might recruit some chaplains to act as support units for these stacks that I'm working on. Obelysium can use a new building. We'll just grab our archer battlements for now, and then we'll kind of come back once we have new fresh money next turn. Let's make sure we cast a Staves of Mending. That's going to have 13 mana upkeep, and yeah, we're good to go. Chivalton. Next on the chopping block, my bathhouse has been built in Obelysium, Magitectual Archive, people are making and we got the Trader of Talents, so we can bring a training camp in here. Absolutely, come on, jump in. So what have we got here? So we can spend, so we can re-educate our leaders here. So we could bump up the renown of someone, we could gain a skill point, we can teach someone how to summon animals, we can enhance the defense. Very cool. I think all 4 of these abilities to the right are definitely things that I'm intrigued by. All right, let's put this city to siege. Start the siege. They have archer battlements, stone walls, caltrops, and necrotic spires. Necrotic spires will regularly heal undead units and also summon decaying zombies from non-zombie corpses. So those are a concerning thing. We are going to run probably build some onagers to give us a better chance. We could also just go for a harass the defenders and burn the battlements. I think that's probably fine. And we'll put a bunch of units around the city of Chivalton. It'll take 2 turns to get it under control. We got our ballista towers in Harrington. Obelysium has produced the archer battlements. I'm going to go ahead and quickly grab the caltrop stash. It's a small ability. Oratorium got its caltrop stash as well. It's not ready for its next upgrade. It is a little bit unhappy, so I'm tempted to get the tavern to bring up the happiness of this town. We've got some new empire development skills. We have access to rangers that will be incredibly useful in the long run. It'll let us move around our empire a little bit easier. Chaos has returned to his base, and some other rulers have forged an alliance. We are about to finish our lesser light spirit research, so you can start popping those out. We have so much mana and not a whole lot to spend it on. First few units are starting to come out. We have now researched summon lesser light spirit. Let's go ahead and grab the ability to heal an army for mana. Could be really useful. I don't necessarily see a huge amount of use for the White Witch. Faithful Whispers is quite useful. I'm going to lock that in, but take army heal because that's potentially very useful. We did get the Architectural Institute in Thermopolis, and while city stability is quite high here, I'm tempted to get myself the bathhouse. On the other hand, we could get to work on the monument. I suppose if I was going to go for the monument, maybe it would be good for us to get the Masonic Hall to be able to bump up the city's production capabilities, making all future decisions faster. Just so much that we need to build. Yeah, I'm gonna build a Masonic Hall just to get the city pumping. And I'm going to look, where were those? Here's the shopkeeper. So I want to learn enhanced defense on Leonidas Shieldborn. So he's a little bit harder to kill. We got some catapult towers in Harrington. Now it's conducting research. I think it would be perfectly reasonable for us to go for the academy in here because the city does have the Pavilion of Prophecies, which does count as a research post, which is allowing us to build that. I'm also going to come in here and I'm going to dismantle the forester. Thermopolis can annex another province. Mostly we're going to have to go underground. We've got some new empire development available. We wanted rangers. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up rangers so my units can move around a lot faster. My domain has been invaded. Don't necessarily care about that. That's fine. I'm trying to build a Doom Depth Trench A and a Shade Network. Oh, they're doing their best to build things. Good job, vassals. My vassal just pillaged a tile and they will give me the gold for doing that. And I do not take the alignment penalty of their pillages. It's really nice. This is just free money for me, basically. Okay, let's go ahead. This should be a very straightforward siege. We should be able to just auto-combat this and take basically no losses. Yeah, perfect. Easily done. Chivalton is now mine. I could, in theory, absorb it, but I don't have the amount of city we need. I don't want to raise it because that's evil. So instead, we're going to vassalize it. As much as I would like to command the map, directly. I'm gonna leave my, which stack? I'm gonna leave this stack here, and I will move the rest of them up to get them inside my territory so we get that nice heal tick while still being in range of my main stack. So they're all covering each other. It's perfectly fine. Obelissium has built a caltrop stash, and so therefore it would be nice to build the estate hall again, because we get 50% of our food as mana, which is kind of insane. So I'm tempted to go ahead and pick up the estate hall here. Okay, that's 30 food plus, which is also 15 mana. That's kind of ridiculous, really. So let's go for that. I don't know if I want to go for the Farmers Guild. I mean, you could make the argument that the Farmers Guild also goes hard as hell. Oratorium, I think, built the happiness building. And again, we would like to get the happiness up in here. But I think we actually might be at a point where our economy is strong enough to where we could start going up to tier 3. Tier 3 cities. Province was pillaged by my vassal. Thank you. We got a message. He's neutral about me. My domain has been invaded. All things are clear. We're ready to move on to the next turn. It looks like he's preparing for an attack on us here. Oh wow, he has 3 mythic bone dragons. No heroes leading these armies, so it's significantly weaker than we would normally expect this kind of army to be. But still, look at, this is why we have to attrition him out. Look at how quickly he produced replacement armies. Okay, now they're saying this is a high risk battle. That is so many tier 3 units. This is a high risk battle. I mean, the bone dragons alone are terrifying. I mean, I do think I have a good chance to beat these guys, but I'm going to let the auto-resolver almost certainly just will lose so hard. But I'm going to fight this manually. This is going to be like the fight that I think decides the war. 3 bone dragons, dude. That's insane. All right, so they have tail swipe and putrid breath. So we don't want to group up too much because these blight AoE damages are going to be a little crazy. Jesus Christ. You have a mending touch. Drop that mending touch. Link this hero. Shademaker, get behind. Defense mode. Brilliant phase. Give me a mending touch on this archer and cultivate that link. We're going to pull very hard to the left here. Give me a mending touch and a link. That's all of the actions I can do for now. That's fine. We'll just let everyone defense mode it. I'm okay with these dragons surging forward and doing their nasty stuff. Gonna cast a Vine Prison. Well, let me think about this. Yeah, I'm gonna cast a Vine Prison over here to delay this sector of the enemy army a little bit so that we can fight these guys over here on more uneven footing. So I'll charge forward with you. We're gonna give our enemy some very juicy targets here, but we're doing it intentionally, hoping that we can just weather the storm with overlapping defense modes. We'll take a pot shot at them. All right, let's see what they do. Oof. Yeah, the decaying is rough. So I believe decaying prevents healing, but they used all their big dragon breath abilities and most of my units are still alive and healthy. Yes, they're taking, 12 blight damage per turn? It's a lot. Here comes Grace. Oh, dude. These units dying counts as Grace, which isn't amazing because we're going to take basically no healing due to all the decaying stacks we have. But that's a really interesting development. Okay, perfect. So I think the number one goal is step you back and we want to start seeing if we can kill some of these dragons. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You're a little hurt. Tempted to cast some more Vine Prisons to distract this sector of the army. I will. I think that's our best move here. Let's do a snapshot on this guy and then a regular shot. Go ahead and charge attack him and blink you over here and shoot this guy from behind. Awesome. If there's a stack of strengthened for my whole army, I would like to decisively command you to act again and shoot this dragon. Another bunch. I want all my units to shoot these dragons. I'll step you 2 tiles to the left and then shoot this guy. Don't think you can reach that. That's okay. If I move you 1 tile this way, I could get you over. Go ahead and taunt this guy to keep him distracted. We could fire off a big AoE attack here. Bam. Move you up. We've got defensive tactics activating. Poison blast. You shield wall. Continue shield walling so we can absorb the optimal amount of damage. Enemies are going to be distracted. We should be able to kill this dragon. Okay. Concerning. Monarch's Decree was just launched. Ooh, I don't like that. Tail Whip. That will get us a Grace across our army. Although I don't think that necessarily matters when we have decaying on most of our units. Yeah, look at that. So even when they're like blasting our units, I don't think it matters too much because of the distraction we've managed to pull off. even when they're getting critical hits, which do hurt. The Grace is triggering. Ooh, we lost that Light Spirit. That's okay. That's part of the game, man. In terms of trades, I think we've traded down so far in this battle, but some of my units are no longer decaying. You can get this kill for me, please do. That's a second dragon down. Okay, we're going to shoot this dragon in the back with my giant slaying shade makers. And once those dragons are down, I think now we've traded up. We've traded what, a tier 2 and a tier 3 for 3 tier 4s. If we look at the balance of power, we're slowly shifting it to our side. I'll do a charge strike here to break this guy. Mending Touch won't do much to most of these guys because of the decaying. We can Mending Touch you and then link this guy to dispel the decaying. Stunning Bash this guy. You should be able to do big damage here. I'll give this guy a little Mending Touch and then I'll cultivate a link with him. I'm going to move you to here, defense moding. We'll shoot an AoE arrow there. I'll Mending Touch you and then cultivate a link with this archer to get rid of the decaying, which will allow me to Mending Touch the archer and cultivate a link with the other archer, doing big damage. You're going to do Warrior's Fervor to get extra strengthened stacks. Perfect. Killed that enemy unit. We get strengthened across our army. Now, I know for a fact if I charge forward and attack this archer, this guy's going to die. But if I charge forward and defense mode, I make this archer's move less optimal. This guy absorbs a much more optimal amount of damage, and I basically sacrifice a troop for a more optimal turn. It's a bit of a gambit, but it is what it is, man. Sometimes that's the choice you got to make. We're taking some damage here. I definitely feel like we're in a good position. The Grace is helping a lot too from all the summoned units dying. It's really... Grace is one of those abilities you don't think about, but it actually makes your units like so much more survivable than you would think. Yeah, that's understandable. I expected to lose that unit, but again, that's going to give us even more Grace to work with. Beautiful. He's hitting us over here on the left. We're healing. All right, lovely. The decaying stacks have been removed. Status check 1590 to 1976. So let's see if we could do something to edit that. I'm going to move my Nakon over here. We'll blast him with a snapshot and then a full crossbow shot. I think the charge strike plus the melee strike here will do the job. We're pushing this bar back to the right, one step at a time. My hero's going to take a lot of damage, but if I can get some of these guys up to stand near him, I'll get you up here like so. Now with all 3 of these units, we'll have to move and make slightly less efficient turns. I'll step you 1 tile to the left, step you forward. We can focus fire on this tier 3 unit. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Maybe you can get this kill for me. Perfect. That's another stack of strengthened across my army. Let's get some big damage here. And we'll snapshot this spirit. You go here and shoot this man. You also go for that shot. Yeah, you shot our leader in the butt. That's okay. All right. So we've lost 3, but we've killed 6. Now they have an active combat enchantment, which is Monarch's Decree. Okay, so they're getting +1 defense and resistance, more damage and morale. You defense mode. I'm going to lose some units here, I think. Well, actually, if they're shooting my shield units, it might not go so badly for me, especially with all the Grace that I still have. Okay, that wasn't nearly as bad as I was expecting. I was kind of expecting to lose an archer or something, but this guy tanked a lot of damage, which is great. Lovely. We definitely need to chase down the enemy. It's unfortunate that you're blind. You have been blinded. Let's hit this guy. 1, 2, 3, big damage. If you step to... Okay, for some reason your accuracy is really bad on this. Take that 40% double shot. Even if they're just grazes, I'll take them. Get up to here, decisive command this archer. 1, 2, 3. Give me a 40%. Beautiful. Let me sweep over here. We'll stunning bash this guy. I'll sweep over here. Blast him. Blast him. Okay, we've got a few of them in zones of control. I'm worried about this here. He doesn't have a whole lot of health. I'll put him here and I'll put him in a defense mode. I'll take a shot at this guy. I'll do a defense mode right there, protecting and obscuring. Blast you. Do serious damage. Defense mode it. So now he shouldn't be a very attractive target. Yeah, okay, perfect. And we'll be able to get him some healing next round. So no real kills here. We killed 1 enemy, but we definitely got strategically positioned to do a lot more damage, I feel. You do have a taunt. Taunt this guy. That way you have defense mode. They're getting some good damage on that tier 2 guy. I just would like him to survive. He's actually fleeing. But they had to really concentrate firepower on him to get that kill. All right, 40% chance to hit. 1, 2, 3. All right, one full hit at graze. I'll take that. Can you mending touch this guy? Blast him. Give me a graze even, just so we can get the kill. Then we're going to get behind these guys, and we're going to go into defense mode. Well, you're already blinded, so maybe that doesn't matter. All right, let's get the charge strike on him. That should be a kill. I'll do a quick mending touch on my archer. I'll move you one tile to the right. Fire a snapshot alongside a crossbow. We'll get another mending touch on you. Okay, where do I want my ruler to go? Well, I suppose if I stand you right here, you can defense mode pinning these guys. Pop you over here. Let's see if we can get some damage on these guys. And indeed we can. Poison blast. Come on, give me that 55% chance to hit. Quick little mending touch here to heal up. And then we'll fire a quick blast again. Inflicting status. Vulnerability. I don't want to stand in this lingering cloud of bullshit, so I'm just going to shoot this guy. In terms, so we've lost 4, they've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so we've definitely pushed the advantage in our favor. So despite the fact that we were fighting superior numbers, we have pushed them back. And at this point, they don't have enough damage that they can concentrate into a single target to get any more kills, I believe. Nobody is vulnerable enough for that. So let's swivel here. We'll get this attack off. One. Pop you to here. Can you get this blast? And then I'll step you forward twice. Take 2 40% shots. Decent chance of getting a kill. Can you get me this kill? Perfect. Charge strike. Get kills where you can. That is the rule. If you can get a kill, take a kill. Step forward a tile. Double attack. Now we just want to do efficient damage wherever we can. So where can we get a high percentage chance to hit? We can get one over here. This guy is someone I need to be careful about, so I will want him in defensive spots. I don't want to just charge him at the enemy. You're blind, so you're not going to be very good. Enemies are really hard to hit in general, outside of melee. Rush forward, beat this guy. You come forward here, defense mode it, force them to make inefficient moves. It's what a lot of this game boils down to. It's forcing your enemy to make inefficient moves through positioning. 30% chance to hit is way better than what most of the time I'll get. So I'll take a 40% chance. I mean, it's a decent chance of a graze. And even at this point, grazes do a lot of work. We're well and truly ahead. They've got mostly support units left with a couple of archers. So again, the only person I'm worried about dying would be Nakon of Mortadadria, because I think if they were to concentrate firepower on him, we would have a very bad time. But aside from that, like, it's just, we have to chase down these annoying archers who step back and shoot and step back and shoot. And, you know, they'd be annoying. All right, we can get the kill with this knight. Bam. My nice tier 4 knight that I have now. All right, what do? You are my crossbowman. So let's step you forward. We will snapshot him. And then I want you to do a proper crossbow shot. It was a graze. That's kind of unfortunate because I was relying on you getting this kill. So I'm going to have to use another unit's action on that. And then you missed, which is kind of incredible, honestly. Can you wake this archer up again? And we just go for this kill. Well, missed all 3 attacks. That's highly improbable. You fire a blast here, destroy his cover. Link this guy. Shoot him twice or once. I don't mind. Boom. Boom. And one more blast. Oh, I didn't want to be this close. That was a misclick. You're going to take a blind stack now. Go ahead and hit this guy now that you're in range to get a good solid strike off. And you as well. Defense mode it, so we can't escape for free. Like, this is the terrifying thing about going up against like a Living Shadows tier 3 archer army, is that even when they're down and out, right? These guys, there's no way they're winning this battle. I still have to play quite carefully so as not to lose units, which is just how strategically powerful these armies are, right? Let's get that charge strike. I do love those knights. I may recruit more of them. Now, if you come up to here, you can get this kill. Perfect. I think these 2 guys should be able to collaborate on this archer. Once the archers are dead, I don't think the support units are going to get kills. The only threat on the board now is this nerd, the perfect. We managed to trick him into teleporting into our lines. So at this point, I feel confident just toggling auto combat and letting them sort it out, because there's no way this lone support unit is going to get a kill on me. And there we go. Hopefully the last few attacks here are doing the job. Okay, yeah, he's in the middle of the trees, which makes hitting him a little harder. We'll give him that credit. Oh, really? He's surviving. There we go. There we go. All right, perfect. So we lost 4 units to kill 18 enemy units. So those are the kind of victories that we need to have, because he's going to replace this army so quickly. And that's the thing that you have to remember, right? That looks like a devastating, amazing victory for me. But for the AI, that's a Tuesday. You know what I mean? They don't give a damn. They'll replace that army like that, man. I do want to go to the ogre shop here. And I would like to get a level up on my leader. And I think I'm going to go ahead and make my way towards Smite. Now the question is, how do we want to get there? I do think getting another stack of defense could be good. Yeah, let's grab defense. We'll need to replace some of these losses we've taken. I do like to see some of my units getting to the legend tier, meaning they're reaching sort of the peak of their capabilities. I'm going to chill on the edge of this land here. Oh, here's Berkshire. We could attack Berkshire as well. Well, now that that's an option, I think what I'm going to do is rest for a single turn here. I'm going to start recruiting lesser light spirits to refill my ranks with the view of just like, we need some combat power in these armies. We have some units on the way, but yeah, we just need to refill the ranks. Chivalton is 2 turns away. Oblicium can annex another province, but the problem is I don't think we have, well, I guess we could get an underground hut. It's not my favorite thing, but it's fine. One of my heroes is leveled up, Nakan of Mortadria. We did want to get the skirmisher training, and we could go down the ranger tree here for extra damage. Now, we could also go for foraging and endurance training to make his army stronger. And I think we will go for foraging and endurance training. We want his units in his army to be a little bit stronger. So keeping them nice high health, etc. would be good. Nabocles gained the Bulwark of Renown. Ah, lovely. So now conduits will provide an extra 5 stability inside Nabocles. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and head to the next turn. That was one hell of a battle right there, man. Look at how quickly he has regrouped another set of armies up here to the north. Jesus. Okay, the final journey home. Myrna Portsmouth in our crypt wants to be sent to High Ridge. Go ahead and send them to High Ridge. That's fine. I'll summon another lesser light spirit. I think we're going to go ahead and smash Berkshire now. Send our heroes into the depths. Begin the siege. Ooh, no, I want my sovereign's army to begin the siege because he has the siege capability. Harass defenders plus tower bombardment. All right, I've got an army protecting Chivalton. Here we go. We are gonna need units in Harrington. So we'll see what we can do. Harrington's under siege. Your domain has been invaded. Not a huge amount I can be doing about that. I mean, look, I'm at war with 3 different dudes. I'm doing the best that I can. Harrington isn't that important to me in terms of a city. I'm glad I built a bunch of defenses there, though. I will say that. I feel vindicated for doing that. We've got a few units in defense here. It's not amazing. We can get a light spirit to help defend. Might be able to make that work. Berkshire we can capture next turn. Chivalton has been captured. Can't quite reach these guys, but if I had forced march, we could make it. And then all we have to do is get our units into this position and this position, and then we can catch these guys off guard. It's a lot more losses than I'm willing to accept for this battle. This should be a very straightforward battle. So I'm going to go ahead and fight it manually. The classic. Now these guys here are exhausted, which means they will not be able to be healed, but these other 2 armies can be healed. So these guys I'm going to have to play very carefully with in comparison to how carefully I can play with these guys. So let's begin forming the front line. Give a little mending touch here, get a link up with this guy. We have a lot of heal potential. Link there. Just because these guys are a little bit vulnerable to damage doesn't mean we shouldn't make use of them. So we've positioned ourselves with a nice solid front line. We'll see what the enemy does. So Monarch's Decree has been deployed. Oh, it's my morning alarm. I woke up a little early today. All right, let's have a look. I do like the combination of healing roots with the ability to inflict Vine Prison to get us a bunch of grace. Also, I like the idea of completely bogging down this archer section with a Vine Prison, or bogging this down. I think I'll do the archer section with a Vine Prison. So now they cannot act at all, which is great. All right, let's get overlapping shield walls. That's what I like to see. We can do a little snapshot here. Now, what kind of damage? Okay, not too bad. Do a little snapshot on this guy. Break his defense mode, and then big damage. We'll get an archer in behind. Mending touch you. You're in a nice safe spot. Earthbreaker to the right. Go ahead and an awaken and entwined for me. We'll send him off to the front. And we'll line up a few blasters on this guy. Nothing much in terms of damage, just tickling him. It's a tickle party. All right, perfect. Well defended. We got a big front line. Everyone's looking after each other. No matter what our enemies do, I don't think they can inflict the sort of damage that we can't recover right now. There we go. We got a stack of grace. And he dies. We gain a stack of grace. He got the immobilize off. That's sick. Execute was resisted. Amazing. And he popped us. Okay. So I think we can actually get a lot of damage off on this here. In fact, we can pretty much get a kill right away. Boom. There it is. We have a charge strike on this immobilized archer we could do. This guy can't be healed, so I do need to be careful about how I position him. I could be really aggressive here, or I could play it a little bit less aggressively and just take on this guy. I think we'll shield bash him to stun him, so he can't retaliate or do anything like that. Make sure we shoot him. I should have shot him first. We'll position a shield unit right there. Let's get some archers over as well. Boom, boom. Let's get you up, fire a poison spike. Oh, we're missing our attacks. Doesn't feel good to miss your attack. There we go, there's a kill. Get a little heal on this guy. Give me that 40% chance. You step forward 2 tiles, can you get to 3? You can get a little bit of an attack off. Not a good one though. Yeah, our ranged abilities are just getting crushed by the living shadows and the Tome of Shades. I can't wait till we fight someone who's a little bit easier to hit. I do think a Vine Prison targeted towards the back half of the enemy army here will be really annoying for them to deal with. Again, and it gives us a bunch of stacks of grace. That combo is just really disgusting. Whoa, what was that? Miasma shot 1 shot. Oh, I guess these guys just, when they're level 1, they just do not have that much health. The tier 1 units at recruit status are just really vulnerable to damage. We'll get a mending touch off. I'm going to charge strike this guy so he doesn't have that ability. I'll zip you behind. I'll mending... Oh, you can't mending touch him. That's okay. Can you mending touch yourself? You can. And you do a little blast to condemn him. 3 shots at 55 or 2 shots at 80. I'll take the 3 shots at 55. It's unlucky. Come forward. 1, 2. Come forward. Focus the melee strikes. Fire an AoE right into the mass of the enemy. Bam. Bam. Come forward. Get this kill if you can. Okay, not quite able to get that kill. We're working on it. There we go. That's what we were looking for. There's another stack of strengthened for our whole army. Shoot this guy. You're a little bit vulnerable, actually, you. So I'm going to zip this archer over. Can you snapshot him? And then can you take the real shot? Perfect. It's another stack of strengthened. Mending touch won't do much for some of these guys. I need to get him into a zone of control. I need to get you behind to do a little bit of damage. Can you fire an AoE? Yes, you can. Drop a little heal on these. We've got True Strike. Oh yeah, double shot Titan Bow on the enemy hero. And then could you come around here? And I hope this zone of control will work. Yes, if you're in defense mode, you will Zoc him. Perfect. This archer has been disabled effectively because he can't get out of his zone of control to attack. Beautiful. So losing a lesser light spirit, it does suck. But if that's the only thing that I lose, and I might lose a cultivator here, which again also sucks because this is a legend tier unit, but we don't necessarily know if that's going to happen yet. Okay, you step 2 tiles to the left. You step 2 tiles to the left. Could you get this kill for me? Yes, you can. Now I want you to run defense mode, working perfectly as planned. Don't let him escape. Not for free anyway. Take the shot. Oh, so close. 80% chance for you to get the kill here. Beautiful. I want you to come around. I want you to stun this guy. Okay, that's an enemy disabled. You come here. Zone of control him. You come here. Can you get the Zoc off? Yeah, now he's now he's prevented from going anywhere. 1, 2. Beautiful. Give me that 80% chance to hit. Lovely. You come up over here. Can you recruit? Yes. Now go blast him with the melee strikes from that summon. Summons are so powerful, dude. Like, it's actually crazy how good they can be. I think that's all of our units acted. We've more or less cleaned up this battle without taking any excessive losses. Like, these lesser light spirits, they were very fresh, as in like they had low experience. They were newly recruited and they are tier 1 units. So I'm less worried about them surviving the battle. I would like you to get up here, pop this guy. Can you get a little closer? Okay, 40% is the best we're going to do. So we'll take 2 shots at 40, then we'll take 1 shot at 40 with you. Perfect. You're staying out of the fight. If you step here, you should be able to get this kill. Okay, not quite. Can you get 1, 2, 3? Yeah, okay. Can you finish this guy off? Maybe. There we go. Starting to look like a clean getaway. Oh, there we go. He teleported. Now we can chase him down. And that should be the kill. Perfect. Sealed the deal. Lost a single unit. Used forced march To great effect, we get the Burning Frostbringer, which is a tier 3 primary melee strike weapon, and the Radiant Pike. I'm going to take those rewards. Now, you are in a very vulnerable position where you're situated, but we secured a very, very useful victory. So I am super happy with the outcome of that battle, sort of manipulating the battle. Now, Chivalton here, we definitely want to give them a Whispering Stone. I think I put a Whispering Stone in my capital, so I'm going to withdraw that. I'm going to talk to Chivalton. I'm going to give them that Whispering Stone, and we'll slowly bump up the vassalage we get here. Oh, hello. We get Imperium from this vassal. Ah, it's nice. We don't have any units. Okay, let's see. Orders required. Yeah, we do have an army stack there. We do have the army heal ability, although we're a little bit busy. One more research. Faithful Whispers isn't terrible, so I'll grab that. It's actually quite good. Nabocles the Bulwark has leveled up. Entering into defense mode gets you damage deflection. I think damage deflection is crazy good. We're also going to grab your signature skill. Right now, we could become an Adept of Order. So you have Shield of Faith. If we made you an Adept of Order, we could get you Incorruptible Spirit so you don't lose this, or we could get you Keeper's Mark so you get Steadfast and Pacified if you ever take fatal damage. What about an Adept of Nature? I do think that Decaying is a very, very strong ability. I just don't know if that's how we want to do it. Extra resistance on the army is really good. So I'll become an Adept of Order, but I might not take either of these. And I might instead push for Weakening Strikes. That way we can get Defensive Master, which will give you damage reflection. You have the Stunning Bash, which is a great ability. I'm a big fan of Defense Master. It's a very fun ability. Another hero is leveled up, Narusa the Soother. Honestly, I think I'm at the point now where I'm going to reset Narusa's skills because I really don't like the Wild Growth. And instead, I think I might either go for Rejuvenate or Restore. I like the idea of the AoE heal, because that way I can give AoE regeneration, AoE bolster defense. Polymorph is a pretty good crowd control ability. So I'm going to go for Hostile Wild Growth instead. Living Vines are really good, but do I want Distracted? Distracted. No, I think the Living Vines are really strong because of the combo with my Nature Affinity thing. We'll take Weakened, Life Seed, and the ability to heal on attacking. Then I think it makes sense for me to pick an affinity for you. I think Affinity of Nature makes sense for a Ritualist. I don't think we need to give you Blight Strikes. I think we'll go for Swift. We don't really have... I guess we could give you some armor. You don't really need armor. You're a support unit. I'd rather give that to someone who's actually fighting in the melee. But yeah, I'm much happier with this guy having an offensive spell rather than a defensive spell. I think it works better for what we're trying to do. I don't think the Protective Wild Growth makes sense unless you go with the Tome of the Fey Mists, because it causes your units too many issues, I think. Oh, lovely. We captured Zuhai Herald, and we captured Nabis of Mortadria. My vassal is pillaging, allies, vassal. Okay, perfect. There's Chivalton. I'm hoping we'll be able to take Harrington back. I'm going to drop a Blizzard on this guy, slightly damage him. See what happens. Yeah, maybe it was the wrong thing to do. Maybe it was the right thing to do. Who knows? Gareth Fisher is trying to retreat, but I think we're going to catch him. Okay, we have a risky battle here. I'm pretty sure the auto combat will be bad for us. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take that as a win. You know what? That's not bad. That's not a bad outcome at all. We got an enchanted chest plate. So let's have a look at our hero screens. How do I change which hero I have selected? I'll give you the enchanted chest plate. Perfect. All right, let me go underground. Berkshire, this should be an easy battle. Boom, easy. Captured Berkshire. We're going to vassalize it. Even if I would prefer to directly control it, vassalization is a perfectly reasonable decision. This army is a little bit vulnerable, so I might pull them back to heal inside my domain. I think they're affected by Exhausted for one more turn, but we can catch this little army stack on his own. Easily kill Gareth Fisher. Hey, nobody's cleared the Altar of Devoration. Well, we'll have to get around to that at some point. All right, let's keep recruiting in here. Get myself another few chaplains. Your job is to protect. All right, I think we'll chill down here for a couple of turns while we convert this city. We did get Faithful Whispers, so now we can increase our allegiance with free cities faster. I'm going to be casting this on Chivalton so that we can get this city to a higher state of vassalage faster. And it's time to pick a tier 3 tome. And the new one is the Tome of Prophecies, which is really exciting to play around with. So we've got stuff like Battle Divination. This is a buff spell. For the next 2 turns, all friendly units gain 25% evasion. Then you gain Precognition. and then you gain 20% damage. So it's like approach and dodge, strike. Fated projectiles is really cool. 20% critical hit chance, plus faithful on our ranged units and our battle mages. 20% crit chance is really, really good. Then prescient circlets gives precognition to all of our melee units when they enter defense modes. Precognition allows your unit to avoid the next effect of any ability or spell that does direct damage. So cool. Now it is countered by True Strike. We get access to the Oracle. This is a support unit that can foresee the future. They've got a Mystic Blast that marks enemies. They've got a Striking Portent that gives allies True Strike and Fortune. They've got a Healing Portent, which gives health and precognition. They've got Mending Touch that heals your allies. That's one of our other abilities then. Foresee Downfall is a siege project, giving all of your units precognition, crit chance, and enemy units fumble. Really, really good for sieges. The Temple of the Prophet gives you mana and knowledge per conduit. So that'll be a good way for us to get even more mana. I do like the idea of the Tome of Prophecies. So I think I'm going to take the Tome of Prophecies, but before I take the Tome of Prophecies, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Tome of Virtue so that we can get ourselves some paladins, because I think that would be a lot of fun. But I'm going to call that the end of this episode. A little bit of a shorter one, because it was kind of it was a little catch-up-y episode. And we'll be heading into Tier 3 to finally finish off Gareth Fisher in the next episode. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!